How cool is this?
Isn't it great? And the ones we got.
Turn my phone off.
It's a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jesse.
I'm doing good. Yeah, before we adjourn.
Okay, great. And then, yeah, message them, send along by the governor and share it with everybody. Yeah. Yeah, you're staying on. I stay down there for now. No, you're staying here. You're here. I mean, you're gonna switch. Yes. Yes. Either I'm gonna switch them, so you get them and switch them. Wait, are we showing you the video? No. I have the printout of the government packet that I have.
Oh, hi. Haven't seen you in a very long time. To Air Hub. How are you? Appreciate it. Take care. Hi. I'm good. How are you? Everything's good. Yeah. That's all. Yeah, great. Did you see Donnie? You want to meet him real fast?
Move this. 1 minute.
Just give me a second.
Before I touch the
I've been my dream school for a very long time, and it's just an honor for me to be able to get a scholarship as well.
For everybody that's going to attend the reorganization meeting, we could just ask if you get a seat, all right, so that we know we have our count, so that if we have some overflow into the other room, we can establish that. Thank you.
It's on. It's on right now. Red is on. Yep, and if you want to. No, I'm going to announce. I'm going to say. I'm going to ask them. You know what? Maybe we should just have them up here.
I think so.
Should we just have some?
Okay. Hi. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yes. Right here. You good?
Yeah.
Want to settle?
Yeah. Where's Alex? Gonna sit over there?
I think he's going to be in there. We're just going to take 1 more minute and then we'll get started. Okay, everyone?
Pete, make sure you get all the, get Tara, get Diane, get them all.
Sunday.
Oh.
That's fine. You can. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do that. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Or you can do whatever you want, but I think it works well there. Yes. Great. Thank you.
Wow, this is amazing. Hey guys.
This is new.
I know.
Cheese.
Oh, well.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you, Diane. He's a photographer. We thought we'd take photos.
Oh, that's your husband next to him. Thinking, I know that man looks familiar.
The one in the plaid?
Yeah.
That's my husband.
Yes.
You keep your masks up? Masks up or down? Do we have to have them up? We're good.
I think when we talk into the microphone, we can take them down.
Is that so?
Okay, is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, good, because people I hear it's muffled. I'm
Okay,
hearing.
sounds good.
Oh,
You ready to get started? Jimmy? We good? Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the January 5th, 2021 organization meeting of the Millburn Township Committee, which is called to order. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws, 1975, be advised that notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board in Town Hall and electronically forwarding to the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at Town Hall and remotely at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. Meeting details and the draft agenda were posted on our township website. I kindly ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing. We are going to have our invocation this evening, which is being presented by the Reverend Paula Tolan, Rector of St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Millburn Township. May I ask her to step forward? Hello. Good evening. Yes, please. And it comes off if you like to.
That's okay.
Okay, great.
And it's even low enough, which is unusual. We gather together this evening as people of different beliefs and understandings, united by a common purpose, the well-being of this community and her residents. May we be able to listen deeply to the experiences of others on this township committee and those who come before us. May we seek common ground in our discussions and debates. When that ground is not clear to us, may we seek ways of bridging differences that are positive and affirming, always with an ear, eye, and heart for the common good. Let us be grateful for the trust that has been given by those who elected us to this office and all who call upon us to act with the dignity of this office and with respect for others. In our discussions, may we seek fair and just resolution to the questions that come before us. In our actions, may our commitment to fairness and justice be evident. In all that we do, whether with a clear faith of our own or none at all, let us recognize our shared values and the ways in which they contribute to the utmost quality of life for all in this community. Let each of us and all of us together work to ensure that Millburn Township and her residents thrive.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Reverend. As you may know, at the 2020 general election, Maggie Miggins and Sanjeev Vinayak were elected to the Township Committee for a 3-year term expiring on December 31st, 2023. Both Ms. Miggins and Mr. Vinayak were administered their oaths of office previously at a swearing-in ceremony offered by Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. We record this ceremony, and it will be available to view by all on our Township website tomorrow morning. I will now call for a roll call vote to note those present. Ms. Miggins?
Here.
Ms. Prupus?
Here.
Ms. Thal-Eglow?
here.
Mr. Wasserman?
Here.
Mr. Vinayak?
Here.
Thank you. The record would show that all members of the Millburn Township Committee are present for this meeting. Is there a nomination for mayor for 2021?
Ms. Scotty, I'd
Yes.
like to nominate my friend and colleague Tara Prupus to be mayor.
I second that.
Will the nominee accept the nomination?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for mayor? Thank you.
Aye.
I will call for a roll call vote to elect Ms. Prupus as mayor for 2021. Ms. Miggins?
Yes. Ms. Prupus,
Yes.
Ms. Thal-Eglo,
Yes.
Mr. Wasserman,
Yes.
Mr. Vinayak.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mayor Prupus. I will happily turn this over to our new mayor.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Maggie.
Yeah.
Good evening, Millburn Township. Happy New Year. I'd like to recognize the following dignitaries who participated in the swearing in. I'm going to do this. Who participated in the swearing in of our two newest committee members, Maggie Miggins and Sanjeev Vinayak. So, and they participated. We had just had our swearing in the previous hour. So, Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver, Congress Tom Malinowski, Assemblyman Tom Giblin, Assemblyman John McKeon, Assemblywoman Mila Jacey, Governor Rich Cody, Essex County Democratic Chair Leroy Jones, Essex County Chief of Staff Phil Elagia, Essex County Commissioner Brendan Gill and Patricia Siebold, Essex County Clerk Christopher Durkin, Annette Romano, who is the Millburn Short Hills Democratic Chair and District 6 Democratic Leader, and Mayor Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg. Millburn Short Hills. Serving you these past 2 years has been one of my greatest honors. It is a privilege to now be your mayor, and I'm looking forward to continuing the great work that was started last year under the leadership of Mayor Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg. 2020 has presented significant challenges and heartbreaking losses. Through it all, we have seen how strong and resilient and forward-thinking Millburn residents are. This past year, we accomplished so much together. We are halfway through our visioning process. Our newly formed BID is honing in on an executive director. We are well on our way to arriving at a fair share housing settlement. We will continue to evaluate our zoning codes to make sure we secure clear and intentional developments. We will continue to work closely with our county executive to make sure our residents are safe and have access to up-to-date information and the COVID vaccine. We are a fortunate community and have a dedicated and passionate township committee. Diane, Richard, Maggie, and Sanjeev. I pledge to work with all of you to represent our Millburn Short Hills residents. Together, we will maintain the precious character of our town while looking for opportunities for positive growth. We will govern with transparency and respect. We will be responsive. We will strengthen our community by encouraging engagement, supporting our generous volunteers, listening to our residents and business owners, and working closely with our competent and caring township employees. We will continue the conversations around human relations and unity within Millburn Township. We will enhance pedestrian safety, encourage walkability and safe biking, and improve access to our 2 train stations. We will keep momentum around art installations. We will further evaluate our green spaces to see how we can both protect them and maximize enjoyment within them. Lastly, and most importantly, we will spend wisely and continue to responsibly steward your tax dollars. I'd like to thank my fellow committee members for entrusting me with your confidence to perform the job of mayor in 2021. Thank you for all your support along the way. Together, we will continue to succeed in making Millburn the thriving and forward-moving community it has always been. I'd also like to thank my family, who love and celebrate me so well. My accomplishments are a testament to your unwavering belief in me. To the Millburn Short Hills community, I ask that you join me in envisioning the future of our town. Reach out, share your ideas, voice your concerns, get involved. With patience and planning, we can create the Millburn we want to see for generations to come. Thank you very much. I'd like to call for the nomination for deputy mayor for chair for 2021. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Committeeman Richard Wasserman for deputy mayor.
And I would like to second Committeeman Wasserman's nomination as well. Are there any other, any other nominations for deputy mayor?
Mr. Wasserman, you will accept the nomination?
I do.
Ms. Miggins?
Yes.
Ms. Fall-Eglo?
Yes.
Mr. Vinayak?
Yes.
Mr. Wasserman?
Yes.
Mayor Prupus?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to announce the following appointments to the 2021 Art Advisory Committee. Victoria Plummer, Donna Davis, Lorraine Barak, Oscar Peterson, Amy McGovern, Andrew Permisson, Judith Kramer, Michelle Sanfilippo, Kathy Hecht, Maren Less, Pamela Poffern, and Tara Purpose. I'd like to announce the following appointments to the Environmental Commission. Priya Patel, reappointed to a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2023. Odarka Stockart, reappointed to a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2023. Reed Kem, appointed to a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2023. And Mark Huberis, reappointed to a 2-year term ending December 31st, 2022, as alternate number 2. I'd like to reappoint Priya Patel as the chairperson of the Environmental Commission for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021. I'd like to make the following appointments to the Historic Preservation Commission. Robert Frankel, Class C, reappointed to a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2024. Karen Gaylord, Class B, reappointed to a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2024. Zachary Davis, Class A, reappointed to a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2024. Peter Nalek, Class C, appointed to fill an unexpired term, 2-year term as alternate number 1 ending December 31st, 2021. Bruce Kramer, Class 3, reappointed to a 2-year term as alternate number 2 term ending December 31st, 2022. I'd like to announce the following appointments to the Planning Board. Daniel Baer, Class 4, reappointed to a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2024. Surin Vijay, Class 4, appointed to a 2-year term as alternate number 2 term ending December 31st, 2022. I'd like to announce the appointment of Maggie Miggins as trustee of Cora Hartshorn Arboretum and Bird Sanctuary for 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021. I'd like to announce the appointment of Sanjeev Vinayak as Class 1 member designee to the Planning Board for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021. I'd like to announce the appointment of Maggie Miggins as the member of Board of Trustees of the Millburn Free Public Library for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021. I'd like to announce the designation of the following Township Committee members as liaisons to boards and committees, commissions for the 2021 as follows. Board of Recreation, Sanjeev Vinayak. Community Service Award, Diane Thal-Eglo. Environmental Commission, Tara Purvis. Shade Tree Advisory Board, Diane Thal-Eglo. I'd like to announce the member of the Township Committee who will serve on the following ad hoc subcommittee. Finance, Richard Wasserman and Sanjeev Vinayak. I'd like to announce the pursuant to statute with the consent of the Township Committee as mayor. I will be the Group 1 member of the Emergency Management Council for a term corresponding with my official tenure as mayor. I'd like to announce the following appointment with the consent of the Township Committee to the Millburn Free Public Library. Lisa Chinofsky Singer, appointed to a 5-year term ending December 31st, 2025. I'd like to announce the appointment with the consent of the Township Committee of Tara Purpose, myself, as liaison to the Senior Citizen Advisory Board for 1-year term ending on December 31st, 2021. I'd like to announce the reappointment with the consent of the Township Committee of Elizabeth Valavon as the member of the Shade Tree Advisory Board for a 3-year term ending on December 31st, 2023. I'd like to announce the reappointment with the consent of the Township Committee of W. McDonald Snow as the member of the Shade Tree Advisory Board for a 3-year term ending on December 31st, 2023. I'd like to announce the following appointments with the consent of the Township Committee to the 2021 Senior Advisory Citizen Board. Mary Ann Moore, Ellen Proch, who's the chair, Jane Greenwald, Lisa Chinovsky-Singer, Ellen Steinberg, Anthony Walk, Robert Varzanger, Jamie Hawkins, or Town Hall designee, Ann Mills, Anna Joan Phyllis, Suzanne Zimmer, Annette Romano, Fran Feld, and Trina Frankel.
I move that the Township Committee give approval and consent to the mayor's appointments.
Second.
Ms. Miggins?
Yes.
Ms. Eglo?
Yes.
Mr. Viniak?
Yes.
Mr. Wasserman?
Recreation Commission Fields Committee for a one-year term ending December 31st, 2021.
I second the vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Thank you.
I move that the following people be appointed, wait, I need glasses. Members of the 2021 Community Service Award Committee: Lynn Ranieri, Elaine Becker Chair, Jennifer Mann Rosenblatt, Daniel Cannon, Laura Janae, Anthony Haynor, and Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
I move that the following appointment be made for the Board of Health: Sandeep Singla, MD, as alternate number 1 for a 2-year term ending December 31st, 2022.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
I move that the following people be appointed as 2021 Board of Ed liaisons: Richard Wasserman and Sanjeev Vinayak.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Richard Coppleton be reappointed as Municipal Prosecutor for the year 2021.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Robert Borod be appointed as Municipal Public Defender for the year 2021.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Craig Plotner be reappointed to the Zoning Board of Adjustments for a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2024.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Wolfgang Sotorius be appointed to the Zoning Board of Adjustment for a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2024. Sorry for the last name pronunciation.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Amy Lawrence be appointed to the Zoning Board of Adjustment as alternate number 1 for a 2-year term ending December 31st, 2022.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Maggie Miggins be appointed as a Class 3 member of the Planning Board for a 1-year term ending on December 31st, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Before we move further, I move that Chandru Harjani be appointed to the Zoning Board of Adjustment as alternate number 2 for a 2-year term ending December 31st, 2022.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that the following members be appointed to the Dispatch Joint Meeting for 2021. Diane Thal-Eglo, Township Committee Liaison. Alex McDonald, Township Administrator. Brian Gilfetter, Police Chief.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that the following people be appointed as members of the 2021 Parking Ad Hoc Committee: Tara Purpose, Maggie Miggins, Alex McDonald, Township Administrator, Donna Ruggiero, Tax Collector, Sergeant Gil Tavares, Police Department Rep, and Parking Enforcement Officer.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that the following people be appointed as members of the Pedestrian Safety Advisory Board. Soma Jairam, sorry about the pronunciation, resident, reappointed for a 3-year term ending on December 31st, 2023. Tara Prupus, Township Committee Member. Christine Burton, Superintendent of Schools or Designee. Gaston Ryan Hoopart, Parent Teacher Organization Council Safety Committee. Christine Bugle, Assistant Engineer or Designee. Brian Gilfetter, Police Chief or Designee. Alex McDonald, Township Administrator or Designee.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Jason Gabloff be reappointed treasurer for a term of 1 year ending December 31st, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Alex McDonald be appointed as Millburn Public Agency Compliance Officer for a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that the following members of the clergy be appointed and designated as chaplains to the Police Department for the year 2021. Reverend Christian Byrne, St. Rose of Lima Church. Rabbi Paul Resnick, Congregation B'nai Israel. Rabbi Matthew Gerwitz, Congregation B'nai Jeshurun.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that the following members of the clergy be reappointed as chaplains to the fire department for the year 2021. Reverend M. Kristen Bierné of St. Rosa Lima Church.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Robert Hingle be appointed as representative to the Essex County Transportation Advisory Board and the Lackawanna Coalition for 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that the following members be appointed to the Millburn Short Hills Business Organization, Inc. District Management Corporation Board of Trustees. Richard Wasserman, myself, Township Committee Member, reappointed to a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021. Jackie Benjamin Lieberberg, Mayor's Designee, appointed to a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021 as a non-voting ex officio member. Alex McDonald, Business Administrator, reappointed to a 1-year term ending December 31st, 2021 as a non-voting ex officio member.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move that Richard Wasserman be appointed as representative to the joint meeting of Essex and Union County.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, we are going to continue to the return to the regular business agenda. Are there any comments or questions from a member of the committee in regards to the consent agenda resolution?
Yes, Mayor, I have some questions. I know we usually do this in one large batch, but it is 35 items. And I think for the benefit of the public, there's a couple I'd like to ask. Alex McDonald, where are you? Is he coming in? Oh, yeah.
Just coming in here.
So I would have liked to have had the chance to meet with you yesterday, but you were swamped, so we'll just ask them now, which I think will benefit who's ever watching anyway. Number 001, adopt the 2021 temporary budget. So I guess there's some questions on there. Like, how were these numbers brought about? Because this is the first time I'm seeing them.
This is a resolution that we pass every year in the reorganization meeting. The numbers are generally, a 26.25% of the previous year's budget.
Okay, so the Downtown Millburn Alliance, the new bid, that 50,000 is based on the 200,000 expected budget that they're going to bring forth?
That is correct.
Okay. EDP, other expenses?
EDP is the township's technology. So in other words, we pay our IT consultant as well as replace computers and other technology through that.
Okay. Legal services and costs, $258,000. Is that all the lawyers that we would be
That's
expected
correct.
to have? So you're predicting the first quarter would be $258,000?
It's based on the budget from last year, 26.25% of the budget that was last year.
Okay. Customer service, salaries, $52,000, and other expenses, just what does that cover?
Other expenses?
No, the
Oh.
salaries of customer service.
That covers the individuals that are in the customer service department. Again, 26.25% of that budget line item.
So the employees downstairs.
Correct.
Okay. Then planning board, I know that. Emergency management services, 3,000. It's not a big number. I just don't know what that is.
We actually budget that, but it is replenished. We get a matching grant from the county, so we have to budget about $10,000 for that.
From the county.
Well, and then there's a matching portion of the grant, so that budget line item actually ends up being about $20,000.
Great. So Shade Tree, the salaries are close to $300,000 and the expenses. So that would be the expense, the salary of all the DPW workers who are within the Shade Tree umbrella?
That's correct.
Okay. And the other expenses?
Other expenses includes tree pruning, tree planting, and personnel training, miscellaneous. There's several line items under those other expenses.
Okay. Street lighting, $80,000. Is that the cost of the physical street lighting and the electric?
Yes,
Both?
both.
Okay. I know we just put some new LED lights along Millburn Avenue,
Yes.
Thank
Upper
you.
Millburn Avenue and Chatham Road as well.
something we'd been talking about. So that's nice. The joint meeting, I know. Dispatch, I know. Sanitary landfill, $587,000.
Yeah, so we have to pay for our contract to do solid waste collection as well as the tipping fees that when we bring that trash to Essex County.
Okay. And tipping fees, I learned, was when they physically tip the trucks.
That's correct.
Vehicle maintenance, that's all the townships?
Yes.
Police,
That's the maintenance of
fire.
our fleet.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that was it. I mean, there's, oh, wait, let's see, a couple more. Parks and playgrounds, that's the rec department,
Yep.
salaries and other. And it's just maintenance of public library, 900,000?
The public library is a statutorial expense. It's based on a formula that is also taxed directly to the public. However, that tax does not take place until the first quarter. Therefore, they're budgeted in that temporary budget to allow cash flow for the library.
So $900,000 for the first quarter.
Correct. The library's budget is what they are taxed for is close to $3 million.
Okay. Let's see, parking utility, salary and wages, I don't know.
So the parking utility is self-liquidating, and you have the ability to pull in various public employees that work toward the parking utility, such as a traffic sergeant, PVOs, things like that. Portions of their salaries can be brought into the utility. That's what the salary and wage line item is there.
Okay, I think, so those are just some obvious ones that came out to me, and thank you. And I don't know, let me just ask you a couple more questions. On 21-015, award professional service agreement to township attorney, because this is all batched within this large pile of paper here. So it just was, I was looking at last year's, so let me just pull this up because I don't want to misspeak. So it says the maximum amount, this is contract for the year, $450,000. And last year's, that same line item said $100,000. So it was last year's, because we wound up spending $585,000 on Kit's firm. So was that a misprint last year? Or how would we then account for line number 3? The township will be notified when 80% of the $450,000 estimate for professional services are reached. So last year, I mean, I might have seen it and just can't remember, did we get a letter every time Kit went above a certain amount?
No, you get an initial letter once he reaches 80%, which is pretty early in that 100,000. So we decided that we should make a more realistic number based on the past spending on the legal line item for Kit's firm. Again, on average, Kit's firm is in that ballpark, as well as, again, other contracts that are within this reorganization consent agenda. And so those numbers are based on what is expected. That doesn't mean that, one, you're going to spend 450,000. Also doesn't mean that you're going to be below that, so you need to put a not to exceed number. And in the event that you get to 80% of that, a letter needs to be written by the attorney to let you know that. And once you exceed that, it doesn't mean that you can't exceed it either.
So then what, do we have something on the consent agenda to go above that amount, or is that just something that gets paid out of the town hall?
Correct.
So we wouldn't have known every time.
No,
Is that something that we should be notified, or?
if you wish to be.
Probably, because this year was an exorbitant amount of money. So, I didn't realize.
I think that, again, as I stated, the amount that was spent on Kit's firm is not inconsistent with what has been spent in years past. Not well beyond 2017, 16, 15. And again, I'm certainly able to share with the township committee those dollar figures, but on average, we've spent about $500,000 with Kit's firm since 2013.
Oh, because it looked
each
like
year.
2019 was only 334, so there was.
That's right,
a
on
big
average.
jump.
On average.
Yeah.
It depends how many lawsuits we have, depends how many, if we have any judgments against us, which we haven't. We've been very fortunate not to have judgments against us when Kit's firm's defending us. So I think it's just, it's one of those things, on average.
Yeah. So I think the township should the committee should be kept abreast of when these numbers are reaching those thresholds.
Be happy to do that.
Yeah, that would be great. So 2021-0118 is Lloyd, who is our special tax counsel. So how does that difference than 21-021, the appraisal services?
So John Lloyd defends the township when it comes to tax appeals. The appraisal services goes out and actually helps assist the tax assessor's office in making appraisals of people's property, not only in times of appeals, but also in times of, an added assessment or omitted assessment. So that's what that professional service contract is for.
Right. So we had that huge townwide assessment a couple years back.
2017,
Yeah. Okay, two more. 21-022 is special agreement for Council Bevan, Muska, and Giada. Can you just let me know what their specialty is? It didn't say in their agreement.
They are being brought on in connection with the Woodmont.
Woodmont. Okay,
The declaratory judgment.
Correct.
thank you. And the last one, the next one, 21-023, special counsel Carilla, Byrne, et cetera. What is their specialty? Okay. So we have not used their services in 2020?
We have a little bit, but
Okay.
not extensively, but you still have to have the contract in place.
Okay. So the rest of the things I'm all more familiar with, and I don't know, so that covers my questions. Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome.
I have a question. I know I used to sit there. Can you hear me, guys?
Take your mask off when you're talking.
Well, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
So I used to sit there and understand that what are these kind of meeting going on. I understand now that there is no such meeting where 5 members sit down together with Alex and go over this in a closed door. It is just given to us on Thursday and get posted on Friday. There's like 366 pages on the report that we get. So again, I'm still learning. How do we go over these 366 pages before we come in this room? Or this is the time for us to, instead of having question answers like this, is there a round table that we can just sit down and go over this? And like you just said, 26% of the last year budget. Again, for me, it's new to learn. Ms. Eglo has been the TC member. This is her second term. How do we know we are signing the temporary budget? Just to get an understanding what we are signing on. I agree we get it a day in advance, but going through all those reports and documents, I can't go over that in a day and give it to public and just sign it. So help me understand how we can understand these documents and these things better.
That's what I'm here for. You can always call me or come in the office and speak to me about it. But and to the yeah, of course, or
How about-
2-on-1, or I mean, but not 3.
How about all?
No, that's an open public meeting.
Okay, so open public meeting where we call and we can still keep talking. That's why the public is not allowed to talk in, but we have to talk like this, right? Just to go over this, to understand all this.
If you want to understand the documents that are sent to you, and you want to go over them, you can always speak to me or Christine prior to the meeting to understand them. If you would like to then ask those clarifying questions or questions that may need to be asked in public to make sure that maybe it's of public interest, you can certainly do that. But there's no round table unless you set, and again, this is a discussion that the committee should have probably at a separate time if you want to set up some sort of other mechanism. However, whatever you do where you have a quorum of 3 people will be considered an open public meeting, will have to be noticed, all right? And the public will be able to attend and they will be able to comment.
Okay, so if we have to sit 3 or more people with you, go over this, then we have to call a public meeting. And that's how, so
Correct.
just so you guys understand, there is no behind the scene conversation happening. When we come in here, these are the reports that we are also looking at with you guys. So if we understand it, that's great. If we don't understand it, it's one-on-one meeting, and it will take some time for all of us to understand this. And we are like a board of directors that don't get involved on day-to-day. Alex is the CEO of the township. He runs the company. I'm saying the company, but he runs the township on day-to-day basis. He has a CFO. He has a team that works under him, and we are relying on Alex and all the team members for them to run township. And there is nothing in me that is saying that I doubt that at all. I completely support that, but just wanting to understand a little bit more, so while signing, I know what I'm committing to.
Of course, it's important.
Thank you.
So, Alex, if you remember, I had spoken to you a couple years back about something that Livingston, a town that we do a lot of shared services with, they have a pre-meeting before their township committee meeting. Would that be something that we might want to look into, that we would be able to all meet? Public could come if they want, I forget what they call it now. But
Conference meeting.
Conference meeting. So if we wanted to discuss these types of things in a group setting, we could do in that type of format.
That is completely up to the township committee.
So maybe it's something we might want to investigate and do it at 7 and put the meeting back to 7:30. There's a lot of ways we can get more information without having to first ask here. If we couldn't have it, like I didn't have a chance to speak to you because of the holiday and yesterday.
Again, this seems like, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, may seem like maybe you were trying to avoid, or maybe you didn't get time. Again, I'm just saying, as a person
would never
sitting over
avoid me.
there, it may feel that way. But truly, this is like an understanding where now I understand a little clearer, a little better, that it is not offending people here and there. It's just trying to understand what is in there. So, I would like to understand all these things as well. And this is a lot to digest, and really, I want to make sure if I've committed my time to the township, I do just to the township as well.
Of course.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the committee on the consent agenda resolution?
No.
May I have a motion to approve resolutions 21-001 through 21-035 listed on the consent agenda? Mr. Feld, please sit down. You will have a time to speak at another time. Mr. Feld, please sit down. This is not the appropriate time for you to speak. Mr. Feld, please sit down or I will ask you to be removed. This is the last time. Thank you very much. Okay, may I have a motion to approve resolutions 21-0?
Wait.
Excuse me.
Can I ask you a question? We're
wait.
not doing when the public asks. on
No, we are
consent
not.
judgment?
Not
Oh.
for the consent agenda. Not tonight. So, may I have a motion to approve resolutions 21-001 through 21-035 listed on the consent agenda?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Miggins?
Yes.
Ms. Eglo?
Pass.
Mr. Vinayak?
Yes.
Mr. Wasserman?
Yes.
Mayor Prupus?
Yes. There was a properly noticed remote option for those who could not attend the meeting in person. If you called in and would like to comment, please press 6 now, star 6 now. If you are attending by computer or electronic device, please click raise hand button. All members of the public wishing to speak will be put into the queue to address the Township Committee. Whenever an audience or committee member reads from a prepared statement, please email a copy to the Township Clerk's office at townclerk@millburntwp.org. To help facilitate an orderly meeting and to permit all to be heard, speakers shall limit their comments to 1 3-minute session. I will now open the public comment.
Mayor,
Yes.
may I, just
Please.
before you go forward here,
Yes, Mr. Rell.
and maybe I missed it, Ms. Gotti, I think Ms. Thal-Aglo passed, so that when the entire list is called of the members, you can return to her and ask whether she wants to vote now or not, having passed earlier on. She does have an opportunity to vote yes or no, having passed at the beginning of the roll call.
Should I call it again, Kit, or just then call on Ms. Thal-Aglo?
Just ask Ms. Thal-Aglo what she would like to do.
I apologize, Ms. Thal-Aglo. How would you like to vote?
Well, I would like to vote with the caveat that I just want clarification why we normally do ask the public if they have comments on the consent agenda. Is that not normal procedure? Is that different during the reorg, Kit?
During the reorg, there is not, the public is not asked for comments concerning the consent agenda.
Okay, I didn't realize that, so I will vote yes on the 1 through 35. Thank you.
That's an all
May
ayes
I?
vote. Thank you.
Yes, and please remember that all public comments should be directed towards me and that we are not having, this is not public dialogue between our speakers and the committee. Okay.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Feld. My address is 11 Alexander Lane, Short Hills, New Jersey. Prior to this meeting, I wrote you guys a letter, various questions. I also provided you a copy of the amended bylaws of the Essex County freeholders, where they do allow comments at their reorganization meeting for the public before you take action. I know what I will have to do tomorrow. I want everyone who wasn't here, please watch Congressman Malinowski's comments about the importance of an oath. That he hit it out of the ballpark. You took an oath to uphold the United States Constitution and the New Jersey Constitution. We have the right of free speech. You took official action. I have questions as to what you've just voted on your temporary budget. This gentleman who's licensed told us today as a fact that as to the SID, you approved a budget in excess of $200,000 last year. You only approved about $16,000. Under statute, you're only allowed to take 26.9%. How did you get to $50,000? How do you do the algebra? Question. We heard before that a letter went to this gentleman that you delegated your statutory legislative authority oversight of every contract. You, as the local governing body, approve all contracts. You gave to this person who's not elected the right to allow the city attorney to charge us in excess of $550,000. Something happened, folks. Manna fell down from heaven since my first letter to you in middle of December. If you compare all the retention resolutions, there's two differences this year. What happened? One, there's a certification of availability from your CFO for the first time for years, telling where you're going to get in your budget. But also, and I told you this problem several weeks ago, you put a not to exceed amount. How did we get to a number for $450,000? On November 2nd, we had a special meeting at 10 o'clock. There was only a few people who attended that meeting. And there was a question goes back to September, because in that special meeting, the council at that time rescinded a resolution that we were going to go out to bids for all our professionals. That did not happen. Mr. Wasserman read into the record that we're entitled to competent counsel. You need to read an opinion that came out yesterday from the tax court. It's a published opinion talking about exclusive jurisdiction. Mayor, you and me are going to have litigation from the local finance board. There's a question about exclusive jurisdiction. You're paying this man $450,000. He's just telling us that the local finance board did not have exclusive jurisdiction. He also told us that we're not entitled to the agenda prior to 48 hours, that we weren't allowed to have the agenda packet. Things are changing. Be
Mr.
careful.
Feld, thank you.
Right, tomorrow
very
you'll be
much.
getting a nice letter from me.
Thank you, Mr. Feld. If you'd like to come up.
Good evening, Janet Pizar, 186 Main Street. Just something for you to think about. I'd like to address the suggestion a little while ago
Talk louder.
that you modify the structure of the township committee meetings and perhaps have the pre-meeting where you can address questions that have not been made clear in the paperwork, or you haven't had the opportunity to really review the paperwork. I have been to literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of township committee meetings, many other towns, in Essex County, in Morris County, in Sussex County. And I have seen again and again that very structure where there is a pre-meeting to the township committee regular meeting. It's often called the work meeting. It's often called the executive session. And the wording is such, and sometimes the actual physical venue is changed to a small conference room where there are only about 5 or 6 seats for the public to attend. The great impression is that the executive session, the work sessions are off limits to the public. I don't agree with changing and separating the two elements because it's all part of township committee business. It's all part of something that the public should have access to and should be able to see and understand the entire dialogue of what is put forth and how it is justified. So I'd like to propose against the changing of that particular structure, again, for the reason that I've seen towns connive, mislabel it as work meetings or executive meetings, and give the impression that it's off limits to the public. So that's my thoughts.
Thank you. Do we have anybody on?
You do, Mayor.
Okay.
First up is Dominique Urso. Ms. Urso?
Yes, good evening. Thank you, everyone. Dominique Urso, 514 Millburn Avenue. The TC should deny the retention resolution for 21-001 for temporary budget for the reasons listed line items. Number 1, Downtown Millburn Alliance at $50,000. Number 2, assessments for taxes at $50,000 for salaries and $24,136 for other expenses. Additionally, the TC should deny the retention resolution for 21-019 for Niscovia LLP for the following reasons. Township auditor testified during TC meeting that she read the minutes how there is no findings of overpayments to professionals. I would like to yield rest of my time to another public comment I have during another section of this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Regina Truitt.
Hi, guys. First off, congratulations to Maggie and Sanjeev on their election and their swearing in tonight. Congratulations. And also to Mayor Prupus on her selection as mayor, and also Deputy Mayor Wasserman. Just a couple of thoughts. you can't have, I could be wrong about this, I'm not an attorney, but there's the Open Public Meetings Act, which does prevent you folks from having a pre-meeting or a meeting that is otherwise not open to the public when you're discussing things that should be township business as a group. So, so that's the problem with that. And as for executive session, again, I'm not a specialist or an attorney, but I believe there are special rules and laws that prohibit you from discussing regular township business in executive session. There are specific items that can be discussed, but not others. My comment is with vaccine distribution starting to get underway. I know there's robocalls from Executive Commissioner DiVincenzo. They've been great, but they're long and not everyone listens to them fully. So I would respectfully request that the township send out emails, regular emails to residents of Millburn Township with information about how they can pre-register for COVID-19 vaccine. Very exciting that it's available. Very grateful for the opportunity for residents. And I think just an email distribution of that information might be more helpful in addition to the robocalls. Anyway, Happy New Year and thanks for your service.
Thank you.
Well, Regina, we did get an email of that because my family got that for town residents. And the meeting I was talking about, I'm sorry for interrupting, Tara, it was not to be closed. It was meant to be open to the public. It was not anything secret. Thank you.
Next is David Cosgrove.
Yes, hello, folks. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, David Cosgrove, 99 Oakview. And first and foremost, congratulations to the new members and the new folks for the new positions and all that. So I had, I'm assuming we're talking just about consent agenda items right now, or is it anything?
No, we
Anything.
are talking about anything. This is public comment.
Okay, understood. So on the consent agenda, there was an answer by Alex as to 21-023 and 022. Diane had asked, Committeewoman Eglo had asked a question about what those attorneys were being hired for. And I would just point out that when you look at that first whereas clause in the document, it says that those people, those lawyers are being hired for development of land use by the township. So if they really are just being limited to providing advice on the soon-to-be-announced Woodmont project, then that paragraph I think ought to be corrected. I don't know if it's a typo or perhaps I'm just misreading it, but the engagement should be limited to Woodmont and not to assisting the town with some development plans that the town has for its own land. And the next question I had is on 21-026, which is retention of special counsel for fair share housing items. I would ask that you folks reconsider that because I really feel strongly that the lawyer representing the town should be a different lawyer than the planning board, meaning I do not think it should be the same lawyer. So my request would be that you look at that or give some thought to having a separate special counsel. On item 21-033, which is the, I'm going to call it the litigation committee, I'd push again and make a request that there be a citizen member of that committee. I know we've heard before Mr. Falcon say that he didn't like that or didn't think that was a good idea, but I truly think that if you folks want a citizen on that, and I think that's a good idea, that it can absolutely be done from a legal perspective without waiving any confidentiality. So that's my request. Thank you folks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cosgrove.
Is that Mr.
Thank you.
Cosgrove? Is it okay to ask a question?
We're actually going to keep the public comment directed towards me, and then at the end, we will come back. So if you could just hold your question, that would be great.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
All is well.
Andrea Grace.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So my name is Andrea De Hoyos is my registered name. I'm at 80 Cedar. I just wanted to welcome everyone for their new positions. I spoke actually at the Essex County Freeholder meeting on December the 16th, and I included some of you, including Tara, in my follow-up email. And so I just wanted to share again that I'm not alone in my deep concern about the rollout of the vaccine initiative in our county and also our town's participation. I'm particularly concerned about children coming forth with the vaccine program. I saw on the news 2 mornings ago a Californian urgent care doctor, Brian Tyson, mentioned an effective early intervention protocol that works. And he also mentioned outright that we don't need a vaccine. This vaccine is experimental. It's experimental medicine, and we're basically guinea pigs in a trial, essentially. If you took a look at my documents that I shared, according to both Moderna and Pfizer fact sheets for providers for the experimental vaccine, there's no evidence that it prevents transmission. There's no evidence that it reduces death, hospitalization, or serious health outcomes. There's no evidence that the vaccine stops the virus at all. They actually state that there's no evidence of efficacy longer than 2 months. We do know, and now that it's rolled out into the public, that there have been severe unwanted adverse side effects to the experimental vaccine, including a personal friend of mine who got full-blown COVID symptoms. But there's also anaphylaxis, myelitis. We also know that without the vaccine, there's been a 99% recovery rate in people under the age of 75 in healthy people. So in sum, I wish to bring to your attention these 3 points: that the experimental mRNA medicine doesn't work and it causes harm. And I think that's appalling and stunning that we're rolling this out. Also, the grounds upon which the vaccine initiative is based, that we have a 99% recovery rate in low-risk populations. And I'd like to see the data sources that the town, the county, and even the state are looking at, proving that we're not already at 70 or even 75% immunity, considering the high recovery rates. And finally, I'd like to meet with you. I'd like to educate you on the tried and true repurposed medicines that doctors are coming forth with, those that aren't under the medical establishment protocols, that do stop transmission, symptoms, and death and do no harm. So I look forward to connecting with the committee to educate you and also to do my part in supporting the people of Millburn. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Perry Urso.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to clarify, are we going to have, is this just agenda items at the moment, or we have another opportunity to speak?
This is public comment. This is the only time to speak tonight.
Okay. So I'm going to start with my public comment, and then I will go with the, discuss something past my comment about the agenda items. So I'd like to say good evening and happy and healthy and a better new year to all. Perry Urso, 506 Millburn Avenue, Short Hills, New Jersey. Most of you know that I've become more vocal and active since the introduction of the expanded SID ordinance. I initially reached out to several deep-rooted and true townspeople about my volunteering my time to the municipal land use boards, as I was complimented by their earlier comments that I would be a tremendous asset. However, I was told that it would be a cold day in hell for me to be appointed. Well, that's not exactly what I expected to hear, but I am a businesswoman and I am not a wallflower. I accept the repercussions of my actions. I've learned that if you disagree or are in opposition, you would be punished. This certainly doesn't sound like the town that I once knew. So I wish to congratulate and welcome the 2 newest members of the Township Committee. I am hopeful that you are willing to listen to all the voices and work together as a community and not with a fixed agenda in mind. Last year, I asked the business administrator if there was any consideration of the government executive order to the property tax extension. He quickly responded, "That ship has sailed, Perry." Certainly not the answer I was looking for, especially in May 2020 of a pandemic. I took his recommendations and started following the TC meetings. And fortunately, I could not find any discussions regarding the tax payment extensions. But I did learn that many things happen when you don't pay attention, and certainly 2020 of all times has been an eye-opener. In May, the expanded revitalization of the dissolved SID discussions began. There would be a drastic change to the B3 business district. All taxpayers within the community would be responsible to foot the bills for the first 2 years. The original proposed amended SID ordinance consisted of 13 pages. This grew to 34 pages buried within a 10-day notice package, leaving very little time to research, prepare, and ask pertinent questions of changes. Such a shame. The township went on the attack once we were in opposition. Our business suffered, relationships suffered, and personal friendships were tampered with threats. More importantly, we were compelled to file a lawsuit at tremendous financial burden, especially during a pandemic. We repeatedly...
Mrs. Urso, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your 3 minutes is up, and I just want to say thank you so much for your comments.
You took 9 minutes and Cheryl.
So you're not...
That's it. Yeah, they cut you off. That's it. Thanks, Alex. Jeez. Next. Go ahead. You want to go? Because we were going to let you off easy.
All right, you guys, excuse me, but there's no public, there's no comment. All right, so I'm going to ask Nancy, I'm going to ask you to please leave. There's no more of this back and forth. Please leave now.
No.
Mr. Policeman, will you please escort her out?
No. I'll represent you. You're going to have to drag me out.
Please don't make
No, I'm going to have to, and I weigh a lot. I'm no lightweight.
How about we
It's
agree that,
embarrassing.
how about we agree that we just listen to what they're saying and just let them talk and no
I'll agree
comments.
with-
Come up and talk.
I'll agree, yeah, I'm going to get there.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Let everybody take their turn, please.
No problem. Is there anyone else on the,
I am going to say this one more time. If there's any talking out of order, you are going to be escorted. Are you giving me the finger?
No.
Mr. Excuse me. All right. This is time.
See who else wants to speak.
Who else would like to speak on
open comment? You have one more on Zoom, Richard
Zoom.
Footer.
On Zoom.
Okay.
This is
You-
awful that you started out like this. You can bang all you want, but let me
You
tell
don't
you,
have
we
to.
were going to give you a break tonight. You had 9 minutes at Cheryl's reorg
I'm
meeting
not
to
actually
speak.
really sure.
I want
I
to say,
feel this is very out of control.
respect has to be earned. I want to respect you for
excuse
speaking
me,
up for getting something.
No, this is enough.
And you?
This is enough.
And no, it's enough what?
No,
this is
enough.
on public record now.
This is a business meeting.
This is a public meeting, and we have
All right, we're
rights
going to
as
adjourn. I'm
citizens.
going to adjourn the meeting for
This
right
is
now.
a public
and I
meeting.
do
You can
that
do
right now,
that.
and
So
we are
let
going
it be
to
on the
exit.
record.
So the committee,
This is
we
how
are
you're
calling
starting
recess.
off your
I am
year.
calling recess.
You could keep banging everything.
We are calling recess.
Take a break. You should take a break. You should be embarrassed. And you're dating that? Jesus.
This is recess, so I'm going to ask the committee to come into the back room.
Go ahead.
You can't go all together into the back room.
I'm going to go to the ladies' room.
Go right ahead. Sanjeev, keep up the good work. Maggie, congratulations. Don't rubber stamp her. Take a temper tantrum, Tara. Take a temper tantrum. Don't rubber stamp her.
South is getting sued with incompetence.
Get some water.
The freeholders have their own agenda that's been published. So they let people speak at their it's called a reorganization. He just talked. Just talk. Just talk and talk. And this guy just said that they delegate their legislative authority that he got the authority to approve $300,000. Yes. No,
I don't think you're going to get any more Richard food.
How was your swearing in yesterday?
We made the most of it, you know,
It's difficult, isn't it, Jane?
but yeah, we set up the flags on there. It was funny, I was able to record them. I set it, because we all have computers, so I put my phone on the computer, you know, 'cause we were at the board office.
Sure.
Sorry, we're still recording, so just be mindful in case something else.
I never had that problem.
I can't speak for that, but I can say that.
Huh?
That's right, that's all you're going to do.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
We're just waiting for
Sanjeev.
Yep, he's coming in.
I think that's horrible.
Okay, we are going to continue with anybody in the room who has not yet had a public comment. And if you'd like to speak, please come up to the podium and direct all your comments to me. And please respect the 3-minute time limit.
Jean Pasternak, 342 Hobart Avenue. I want to congratulate the newly elected members of the Township Committee and the newly elected mayor and vice mayor. I'm really shocked at what happened here tonight. I have to say that.
Louder, I can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Okay, sorry. It's too thick. I'm very shocked and shaken by what I just witnessed here. What I find really sad is that there are a relatively small group of people present here who I think are all interested in making this town better, and particularly for the female numbers that are here. There are quite a few, elected as well as in the audience. I think it's really sad that we can't find a way to communicate with each other in an effective way, even if there's disagreement. I think that has to be focused on and fixed immediately. We all have this town's interest at our best hearts, and I think we need to find a way to talk to each other. And I hope your leadership, Tara, will prove that you can fix this problem. What I'd like to point out is I had the opportunity to review a session of January 2nd, 2018, where you were on this side of the dais. And you were given quite a long period of time to talk about very specific issues that you had about your business and so forth. And there was no interruption, and you were allowed to go on and on and on. So why is that okay? But now that you're on the other side, it's not okay to listen to the people who also have concerns that are equally important. And I hope you'll give me an answer to that, because I truly want to understand it. It seems very hypocritical.
Ms. Pasternak, I'm not going to engage in a dialogue with you right now.
Okay, so you don't want to
invite
answer
you
the
I
questions.
invite you to keep your
Okay.
comments
I
coming
will
towards
ask
me.
my
Thank you very
questions,
much.
and I now know to expect no answers, which is completely the opposite of what you received when you were standing in my position here in 2018, January 2nd. You got lots of answers. It was an interactive dialogue. Everything you asked about was answered. But for me, because I'm not in your party, I don't support your candidacy, too bad. I don't get answers. I understand. Okay. What I'd like to know is there a legal opinion that you have and can share with the public as to the action that was taken this evening regarding consent agenda items being voted upon without any public input?
So we can address, Mr. Falcon can address that, and he already did. He responded
I
to
didn't hear the
Committeewoman
answer.
Eglau saying that during a reorganization meeting, it's okay for there not to be public comments.
So he's
on
written, that's a
consent.
written opinion that he was reading from. His written opinion was
This-
that to
so
the
you-
township
So I
committee.
am going to, is your comment done? Because then I can.
No, I just clarifying my
Oh,
question.
I understand that your comment, and I will ask Mr. Falcon I will engage to ask him to respond to it again. I just need to know if there's any more comment that you would like to make.
My question is there a written legal opinion
I
that
hear-
was
I
presented
hear
to
you.
you? And that's
Yes.
I'd like an
Okay.
answer to that.
And
okay?
I'm going to get you an answer
Okay.
to that.
And I'd also like to know why there was a 200% increase in the allocation of the budget to Mr. Falcone's law firm. I'd like to understand that. How did that come about? Who presented it, who developed it, and why? Those are my questions. And
I
my
heard,
time is up.
understood. Thank you
okay?
very much. Mr. Falcon?
Yeah, on the first issue, no, I've not written an opinion with respect to that. It's simply the way that the Open Public Meetings Act is set forth. The Open Public Meetings Act says that the governing body must set aside one period during the course of its meeting for the receipt of public comment, which you do. You have also in recent years broadened that to provide an additional opportunity at your discretion so that people who had questions about items that were on the consent agenda could come forward and have them explained. That is not necessary as a matter of law. Now, Mr. Feld has offered the opinion on earlier occasions that resolutions, when they're adopted, must be accompanied by the taking of public comment or a hearing. And I would like him, if he is still of that view, to submit a memorandum and tell us the law that he relies upon for that proposition. He could add that to his letter that he's sending tomorrow morning if he's so inclined.
Thank you, Mr. Falcon. So with that, if there's anybody else in the room who hasn't had a chance to engage in public comment, I invite you up to the podium or to the microphone to speak now. If not, I'm going to end public comment. Mr. Vinyayak, I'd like to return to you, and that the question that you had now would be the appropriate time if you would like to ask any questions or have any further dialogue amongst the committee members about anybody's public comment.
Thank you. My question was to, at that time, Mr. Cosgrove was asking a question and I couldn't understand it clearly. I think I just wanted to clarify it. Is he asking to open up the finance subcommittee to people, or was it something else?
Not the fine. I believe that he's opening up the steering committee of the affordable housing mediation.
21033.
Oh, okay.
21033. Thank you. 033.
Thank you. That's all.
Does any other committee members wish to bring up any questions that were raised during public comment?
May I have the floor?
Yes.
I just wanted to respond to Regina Truitt that my family did receive the email, and they did go online and pre-register. So, Regina, you might not have checked your emails yet, but there was an email blast to the town. And to Ms. Pizar, I was not looking to infer that that should be a private. It was called a conference meeting where the public is allowed to come. So I am never looking to do anything that is not completely transparent. And I just want to say one last thing to Mrs. McDonald and DPW. I had asked to keep us all safe with plexiglass, and you did an amazing job getting these done. They give us a really comfortable feeling, and I want to thank Jim, I believe, built these from scratch, so
Wow.
bravo.
Nice. Yeah, thank you.
And thank you.
Okay. And then also, Mr. Wasserman, do you have anything that you would like to add?
No, I just want to offer thanks to DPW and to Marla for making the town look beautiful. You know, I think I just want to point out that if you go around town, I think this season more than any others, you'll see extra lighting and toy soldiers and I just want to thank everyone that was involved to make our Millburn even more beautiful.
Thank you. So we also, during the swearing in, Governor Murphy had sent us a video that I would like to play now, just congratulating the township. So we are gonna end with that.
I'm incredibly honored. Governor Phil Murphy here. I'm incredibly honored to be a part of your reorganization program, albeit virtually. And I hope that you, your families, and community are all healthy. So the campaigns are over. The election was free and fair, and every vote was counted. So today the hard work of governing is renewed. And I know that Millburn Township will continue to be in good hands with council members Maggie Miggins and Sanjeev Vinayak. Across New Jersey, our foremost goal is to pull together to move our communities out of harm's way from this pandemic and on to a stronger, fairer, and healthier future. We're all in this as one, and I am committed to being your partner in your continued success. So may God bless each of you, and I hope you all stay safe and healthy. And if we all keep working, I know we'll be able to be together again very soon. Again, thank you all, and Happy New Year.
That was lovely. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Millburn Township. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Congratulations again, Tara.
Thank you.
And welcome again, Maggie and Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.